doing here? Well, now we're changing it to another subject. It's in a way, it's like Jesus' parables. He's telling different parables, and each one of those makes the persons think. And while you're thinking about something that Jesus is some truth that he's throwing along beside a story, that's what a parable is. It's the actual Greek word for throwing something out, and it's alongside of the truth. When you're throwing these things out, it's causing you to think, what do you not know about this pig? And what do you, I actually used this in a Bible study. People that were, I'm a senior citizen. And so, the people that I talk to, I'm sure if they're a senior citizen, they don't mind being called a senior citizen. Some of us are more senior than others, and some go back to the time frame when they actually did not know about a pork chop. In Great Britain, the idea of a chop comes from the 17th century, that would be 1800s, when London chop houses started cooking individual portions of meat. Now, is that not a piece of information? If you really think about it, I want the whole hog. Well, okay, we'll grind it up in sausage. Well, what about the ham? Well, do you know about the ham? Yeah, we all know about ham. It's pretty easy to find the ham, and I assume it's pretty easy to find the loin. But can you find a pork chop? Now, there's a lot of people that are licking their chops right now, and they're saying, man, pork chop, how could we do without the pork chop? That's the whole hog. That's what we're talking about here. So a friend of mine is a butcher, trained in cutting meat, and he lived in Mississippi. He is a senior citizen, and as they were talking, he and his mother, so he's 78, and so his mother just died this year, so you just kind of mark it down how far she goes back. If he's 78, she's got to be at least 98. No, not really. If she was married, he has older brothers, so I know, and sisters, so I know that she was 98 or in that area. That's 20 years older than him. So you go back 98 from right now, just go 98 from 2000, and you are back 70 years now. And that's going to be 1930-ish. And she ends up being grown in 1940. And he's talking to her when he's a young man and he's gone to school, and they're talking about the fact that he has realized there's a pork chop. What? They didn't know about a pork chop? So the people that I was talking to in the Bible study, I asked them, have you always known about a pork chop? And they said, no, we did not. What was happening? Well, a lot of people were slaughtering their pigs at home. I was telling you, in my young life, my stepdad was slaughtering his own wild hogs that they caught, horseback with a dog in Louisiana. And I really don't think that they were getting pork chops out of that, because not just anybody can find the pork chop, number one. But they're in there. And so I asked them, did y'all always know that there was pork chop in the pig? And they said no. And so I set the stage. You know what? There's some things in the Bible that you're overlooking. And you think you've been eating the whole hog. You've been thinking you've been getting the whole hog. What are we talking about now, hogs? No, we're talking about the message. You thought you were getting the entire message, and somebody was cutting one of the best parts out because they didn't know about it, or they're hiding it from you. What if your butcher was stealing all the pork chops? I mean, if you don't know what's in your cow or in your pig, and you go to the meat market, you raise your pig, go to the meat market, and you get all your meat, and he's cut it up. You tell him cut it up in the best slices, the best cuts, and you come away, and then you're visiting with one of your neighbors, and all of a sudden they pull out they say, you don't have pork chops? I never had pork chops. Well, let's have one. And then you eat it, you say, man, where'd you get this? Out of the pig? Which pig? You see my pigs out here. You know the one that I slaughtered. You got a pork chop out of that pig? Yeah. Why? Because why didn't I get one out of my pig? Because the butcher actually kept the best piece. Would that not aggravate you? Listen, your pastor is doing the same thing to you. The butcher actually kept the best piece. Would that not aggravate you? Listen, your pastor is doing the same thing to you. Is it possible that your pastor is so determined to keep you where you are? I'm saying, y'all, I have been on television for 27 years here. And I know these pastors know that I'm telling the truth. They have watched us, myself and Caleb, debate all kinds of sectarian folk, mostly Baptists and James Oldfield. So they know how badly it hurts them when they get into a discussion with us about the whole hog, how to be saved, the entirety of what it takes to be saved.